And welcome 5 minutes almost to the dot early for the drive, because we have a leopard that is literally about to pounce. I don't even know what it is yet. We came across, well, around the corner, and boom, there was a leopard. I presume beautiful light just catching his face there. Amazing camouflage. If you didn't know there's a leopard, you wouldn't see it. Just his face, and guys, he's going to pounce now. We are in a leopard hunt. So welcome to the Sabi Sands Game Reserve with Wild Earth, and welcome to this afternoon's live safari. You never know what is going to happen now. I'm going to go very slowly, almost just at a stalk myself, a little bit closer, just so we can see him when he leaps. It might be something small, it might be a francolin or a bird, it might be a warthog, it might be a steenbok. I have not yet seen what he's looking at. I'm trying, but I'm not seeing it. Wow. This is what people dream about and imagine when they're heading out on safari. It's the surprise of the moment, the excitement of the stalk. Oh, there he's going. Okay, he's settling down now. He's just sort of put his backside down and he's waiting now, but he's still looking. You can ask any good wildlife photographer, what's the most important attribute? And I would imagine almost all of them would certainly mention, if not first, at least second, but I think first all of them would say patience. And that's for someone that has to take a photograph. Imagine patience was your number one attribute to survive. So this leopard has got all day to stalk whatever he's hunting. I really thought it was going to go, so unless something has moved a bit, I'm going to go a little bit forward, just enough that I can see past these bushes on my right. Guys, we'll get to introductions and things just now. Oh guys, there we go. I'm going to sit just here. Andrew, while we're looking at this, guys, Andrew's with me this vehicle, or this afternoon in the vehicle. Andrew, nice to be with you. Nice to start with such an amazing surprise. Just there, we've got two impalas. You might not even see them. They're just inside the bushes. There, about. Here you can see. Now, that's still far away. We're looking at about 30 yards, give or take a few. That's a big impala. Keep in mind the leopard we're looking at is a young male, but just a few days ago he caught a Nyala bull, an adult Nyala bull, which would be about the same weight, in fact actually a bit bigger than the impala, and the horns are as dangerous, if not more dangerous. So this leopard is well versed in catching big dangerous prey, so impala certainly within his physical reach or his ability of hunting. It's now just whether he can get close enough. While we're waiting for him and he's waiting to see what's going to happen, quick introductions. My name is Peter Pretorius. We've got Nikki and Tara in final control. Got the whole team here at the moment. Andrew this afternoon is on camera with me. Andrew, looking forward to it. Always nice to have a new experience, new person on the vehicle. And the impalas are just slowly moving away, not because they've seen the leopard. That's the way they're moving. We've also got very good wind in our favor, meaning the wind is coming well. Let me ask this question. Always an interesting one for me. Who are you cheering for right now? Let's get a few emails. We're gonna see what the scenario is. Yes, many of you, if you want to chat with us a little bit, please tell me. But innately, I think many of us, most of us, some of us, but I think most of us are cheering for the leopard. We are hunters ourselves. We know the need for survival. And once the hunt happens, many people feel sorry for the prey. But in my experience, without fail almost, people are always cheering for the hunter. So let me know, who are you cheering for? Who are you holding thumbs for? I'm going to try and see this leopard as as well as we can. Those of you that know these leopards well, please help me get an ID. My gut feeling was Djuma, just because of where we are and the spot pattern. I thought Quarantine is always a bit darker, but I haven't even seen Quarantine yet. I've only seen Djuma briefly, or well, one drive. So if any of you can get some facial spots, recognition marks. I want to just move back a little bit. Ideally in a hunting situation or scenario like this, one prefers to be... Give me a second, I can just see his face. I want to see if I can't get a... Very difficult to see. Ideally when the animal's hunting, from our point of view, we want to be either behind the hunt, but that's more specifically for buffalo, lion, and those big animals. Whoa, let me try and drive on the road rather. Or the best scenario would be at a sort of an equidistant triangle, which is a little bit tricky perhaps now. Mind being there, but you can see we've got a lot of bush. If you look at to our right, we'll try and show that impala again. There's a young one coming through, a young male, just through the brush there. If you look right in sort of that area, difficult to see them, but you can see the movement. Just sit here a bit. I just didn't want to, where we were sitting, we were closer to the leopard than the impala, so if they were looking at us, they wouldn't have seen him, but they would be looking in that direction. So I want to keep us not only objective to the hunt, but also in a way that we won't interfere for either of the two. Now let me prepare you for this, as I've said earlier, but in case it was missed in everything that was going on. This hunt could take the rest of the day. We might well spend the rest of the afternoon sitting with this leopard. Obviously we'll join HT as well. HT wants to say hello to you. He's down at Gowrie Waterhole already having a look around. But at the same time, this could kick off before I finish the sentence. That's the thing with leopard, you don't know. At any second he could decide to go for it or wait. It's quite hot this afternoon. It definitely is a summer feel to the afternoon. I would guess it around, not incredibly hot, it's comfortable. Probably around the 29, between 29 and 31 degrees Celsius. That's about deep 60s, around 72 or something like that, and actually a bit more than that, thank you, probably about the low 80s, something like that. There's a bit of a breeze, so it is cool for us, and it just makes the point again. So many people think that leopard and lion and so on only hunt around sunset and sunrise, which obviously is the majority of the time true. But you could drive around hot afternoon, mid-afternoon still, and suddenly, boom, you're sitting with a leopard that's hunting. Guys, thank you very much for the IDs that came through. I missed the names in now, but we had a few people saying that they think, well, they're pretty sure this is Djuma. I'll just introduce some of you on the drive to each other. Again, many of us are from all over the world experiencing this moment together. But, oh, did I say Djuma? Sorry, my mind is still thinking it's Quarantine. Thanks, Nikki. Guys think that this is Quarantine, and I would have to agree with you. Until we can see him really clearly, we'll have another look, but I do agree with you. Keep in mind, as I was saying, just to introduce some of you on the vehicle to each other. Perhaps this is your first drive, your second drive, or maybe you've just joined us a few minutes ago. In that case, we are watching a leopard that is busy hunting. But many of the guys in the vehicle, many of you have been coming on drive with us for many years, hundreds of drives, thousands of drives, and therefore it's great to have people on this vehicle that know some of these leopards better than I do. They've seen them more often. So it's always nice to know that you've got many experts on the vehicle. You can hear the impala. You can also hear a beautiful pearl-spotted owl. We actually saw them yesterday very nicely. Small owl, hunt other little birds. That's that whistle you could hear. It looks like 1, 2, I can see 3 males, so it's a tiny little bachelor group. Now we are building up to the rutting season, and in the rutting season, oh, there we go, he's up again. See, it's because those males are playing around with each other. They sort of jumping around a bit, and the leopard knows they're distracted now. That's when he's moving. So look at how beautiful he is. It's like liquid mercury, you know. These things are amazing to watch when they turn from sleeping cat to deadly predator. I don't think I can stress the point enough. Every time we see a leopard like this so intimately, how lucky we are. There's not many places in the world where you can experience leopard on this level. I'm going to move a little bit. Just enough that we can follow him if he does go for it. This is so exciting. I mean, it's as a boy and even as a guide for my first years, I dreamt of seeing something like this. You know, I imagined what it must be like to be in a situation where you can look at a leopard just hiding in the grass. They're busy hunting. Just there. There he is.
I lost him for a sec.
That's his face. Amazing how they blend in. We said about it, or talked about it 1 or 2 drives ago, for those of you that were with us. And we almost missed like a group of elephant. You know, we luckily to see them, but like a few minutes, not minutes, seconds later, they walked into the bush and they were gone. And we said, you know, how optimistic are us wildlife fanatics or us wildlife fans? You know, we go driving around, you can miss an elephant by a second or 2, and yet we imagine that we could find a leopard. So that's when it happens like this, that you just realize the magic of it again. Oh, look at that. It's flowing through the undergrowth. 100% in tune with everything. The wind, the sound, what the impala are up to. Going to come out there just now. He's just behind a little clump of bush now. He's got perfect cover. The wind is helping to hide him as well. A bit of wind is very good for the hunter. Obviously, if he's downwind, it hides his smell. But also it creates a bit of movement. Look very carefully around the leopard. The grass is moving a little bit. The leaves are moving a bit. All helping to hide him. Making it just a little bit more difficult for the prey to spot movement around them, because there's this general movement of the undergrowth anyway. I want to just share a small story with you. For those of you that were with us last year, when we had that amazing experience, the second sort of live drive to TV, if we can refer to it as that. We had that incredible experience with the lions, those 5 young males catching a buffalo, and the whole hunt and the kill and everything, the drama and chaos and adrenaline and emotions that go along with that. That was literally where we're sitting now, like 20 yards that way. Same place. Eh?
It's a little bit tricky.
It's not, sorry, Andrew's saying it's tricky. Andrew, I'm going to, in a very nice way, correct you. It's not tricky to see him. It's impossible to see him at the moment. Andrew is such a good cameraman. He actually wants to show you through the bushes what's going on. We'll work on that X-ray vision camera for him soon. You know, James Bond. Yeah, I'm sure James Bond wouldn't mind coming on a drive. This is quite fun. Worst things to do in the afternoon. Oh, it's weekend, by the way. It's long weekend in South Africa. Many people going to beautiful places to get away for a bit. Many people like us going on safari. What a cool way to spend your afternoon. Yeah, no, I thought that would be the case. I mean, innately, that's what we do. That's what's in us. Now, we are, make no mistake, we are predators. We survived as a species for very long by hunting. And just getting all the feedback. Many of you saying that, you know, go Q, go leopard. There he's moving again. Slight movement, very difficult to see. A little bit just there, I think. Yeah, there he is. That's his body. There you go. But yes, I think pretty much unanimous, massive support for the leopard at the moment. Guys, if we are going to see the hunt, if we are going to experience it, it is an amazing experience. It is sort of the visceral, you know, reality of survival in the wild. And I know there's always mixed emotions when it happens. I promise you, you will feel like you've been through an emotional experience afterwards. And you know, even though we're all cheering for the leopard now, even then, it is an amazing experience to go through the whole elation of the hunt, to the emotion that follows, and the elation again afterwards. I'm going to try and share it through with you, or experience it with you. As I say, we can't guarantee it, but this is certainly as close as one can ever get to a leopard hunt, other than actually seeing it happen, because we are on the brink of a successful hunt. He's been patient. This leopard is now at an age where he's mature enough to actually have left his mother already. She's just still tolerating them in her territory, so by her good graces they're sticking around, but they are fully independent, fully capable hunting males, not dominant yet amongst other male leopard. They're still too young. And this guy has learned his lessons by now. He's learned the value of patience. He's not going to ruin this hunt by sort of prematurely going for the impala or becoming impatient. He's going to wait for it. I've totally lost visual of the impalas now. I must say, if we didn't know there's a leopard there, I mean, if we didn't know that and there is one sitting there and you can see the movement now and again, people would think we're crazy. We're looking at a bit of random bush. And let's move a little bit. So we'll see if we can't keep an eye on the impalas. Great news, or interesting news. Just giving an update there that the hunts that have been followed with Q, this leopard, I don't want to move too much, because if that leopard is lost now, you know how difficult it is to find him. I don't see the impalas, but they're just here in the thick stuff. Most of the hunters that have been seen on the drives, and that's again the benefit of so many of you on the drive that are well experienced in this, have seen many of these animals do their thing. Q has been quite often too excited or a little bit rushed and has ruined a few hunts. Maybe this is the day where it turns, or at least for our experience. Can't see the impalas at all now, but you can still see the leopard. He's just off in the shade there. He's quite relaxed at the moment, keeping an eye on where he's going. Oh, there the impala, I can see them, but it's going to be impossible with the camera. I've got a tiny little tunnel through the bushes here. They're slowly moving away from the leopard, but very slowly. I mean, they're busy grazing as far as I can see. So he's just following them until he gets the opportunity to get closer, and he will work his way closer and closer in the course of the afternoon. So we're going to keep an eye on it. Hey guys, so basically you can just see a flick of the tail there. So the impalas are just there. So let me just give you a sort of a overview. The leopard is lying flat down. If he moves, I'll get you there before he's even moved more than a step. But so basically, we're sitting with a lot of thick bush around us. So that's, I would say, I would have to put that in the favor of the leopard. So that's up for him. Then the wind, it's a little bit sort of coming and going, but it's consistent. I've paid attention to it since we've stopped. The wind is coming almost directly from the impala to the leopard. So leopard here, impalas here, wind is doing this. It's good for his scent. It's even good for sound. Wind helps to hide sound as well. Again, the way the sound travels, but if there's a bit of wind, just getting that soft rustle from the leaves, a little bit of grass, maybe a stick rubbing against a tree somewhere, just little sounds that help to hide the sound of the leopard moving. So the wind is also a small benefit for him. There's not many impala, there's only 3 as far as we could see. That's a big benefit. If there were 100 impala, that's 200 eyes that could see him. 3 impala, 6 eyes, the odds are not too bad. Inexperience maybe a little bit against him, but he is also now over 2 years old already, so if someone can just remind me how old exactly he is. I forgot exactly the age, but he should be 2 years and 4 months or something like that now, if I remember correctly. So most things are actually in his favor. It's just whether he's going to be patient enough. It looks like he's going to. Whether we're going to be patient enough. But as far as I can say, we've got a very good experience or very good opportunity, shall I say, or chance to get this done. Can you see it all, Andrew? I don't know where you said it might actually be. I think that's slightly. I don't want to get too much forward. You know what? Let's get behind him for now, but that's not really where you want to be. You just can't go far away because it's so thick here, you might lose him. So having sort of measured up all the pros and cons, all in all, this would be in the favor of the leopard, I would say, at the moment. Guys, for those of you that have just joined us, we're just busy moving here and I'm in 2 minds. Let me just show you quickly. There's the impala, and if what I'm saying now doesn't make sense, I'll explain it just now. That impala at the moment is one of 3 bachelor males having a bit of a feed around here. 1, 2, 3, okay, then I'm counting 4 now. So 4 bachelor males, a very small group, and only about 35-40 yards in the direction that impala is facing. There's a young male leopard. We believe it's a leopard called Q, busy stalking them. And we were very lucky. We've been, what's the time now? 18 minutes ago, a couple of minutes more, 20 odd minutes ago. We were driving along, just getting ready for the drive, and boom, we found the leopard in the road. And we could see from his position, the way he was standing, the way he was looking and moving, that he was busy hunting. We didn't even know what. It took us a few minutes to find the impala ourselves. Now, ideally, I wouldn't mind sitting over there, but in a situation where I could keep at least a bit of an eye on him. But leopards are just so well camouflaged that in habitats like this, thick bush like this, we might lose him too easily. So we're going to stick a little bit closer to him. We'll try and show him to you as well. There, just a little, just through there, you should get a tiny view. Got him there, Andrew? Should be just there somewhere now. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Camouflage at its absolute apex, or at its best. Just to give you, again, to put this into perspective, yesterday we were talking about the lion hunt we had last year, which was, and I'm thinking of that now because it happened exactly where we are now, a couple of yards back. And at the time I said, you know, that some people do this for 10, 15 years. I know literally guides that have worked in this area for 15 years and have never seen a buffalo kill. I've worked in game reserve, Sabi Sands, where we are now, Djuma Game Reserve, Aratuza, all the other lodges or the other areas in Sabi Sands. It is world renowned for leopard viewing. Some of the best leopard viewing, if not the best leopard viewing in the world. I've worked in other game reserves, amazing game reserves, beautiful places, where you can go 3 or 4 months without seeing a leopard. And then if you see it, it's off in the distance up on a mountain, not intimate and personal like this. Yes, thank you very much. I remember it was around Christmas time. Karula, the mother of this leopard, has had many of her litters around December. MJ, thank you. Nice to have you as always on the drive. Just letting us know that they were born around December. I think the second week or so of December. So these leopards are 2 years, 5 months, give or take, old. So at an age where normally they would actually be independent 100% from the mother, which these guys pretty much are. I know they were seen together not so long ago still, but they are operating independent of mum and independent of each other, but they are still within the territory, within the range that Karula operates in. So they are slightly protected by that aspect, and they are still obviously tolerated by Mvula, which is by all knowledge their father. Keeping in mind that male leopards have got large territories. They've got areas that might encompass 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 female territories. So he only comes through here every so often, so he wouldn't necessarily bump into them. If he did, he would start putting some pressure on them. Let's just move a little bit. Guys, for now he's not doing much. I can just see him through there. He's pretty much just waiting, which is probably the wisest thing he can do now. Waiting for a perfect opportunity, maybe a termite mound, maybe just something that he could use as cover to get himself closer. For him to have a very good chance of hunting these impalas successfully, he would need to get within 10 yards would be great, but he would need to get 20 yards or less. Excited about this as well. It is one thing that we both enjoy almost as much as being there ourselves, is knowing that that the other guy is showing you something as well. But say hello to him, and we'll get you back here as soon as anything happens here.
Well, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Safari Live from the other side of Djuma, and I know that Pete is with something very, very special. It just goes to show you that anything can happen. My name's Hayden Turner, and I've got Brian Joubert, who I haven't worked with. Big man, great to see you, buddy. Brian is with me on camera today. Brian and I haven't been on the vehicle together for about 6 months, so it's great to be traveling with Brian as well. We mix the camera and the teams up so we can cope with all different situations. Just if someone got ill or something like that, it's really great to know how each other's styles work. So welcome to Safari Live. I'm just sitting at this water point. There were some elephants that was supposed to be coming down, but we're going to be able to cross to Pete if anything seriously exciting goes. So we're going to cross back to Pete. I think something really exciting is happening.
Guys, welcome back. Sorry to interrupt HT like that, but we do have a leopard that's stalking. Keep him updated as well, please. I know he's just excited as we are. Guys, just there, he's going to pop out. There we go. He's moving a bit. This is not the pounce yet. This is not the go yet. But as I said, with leopard, even more so than with other predators. Look at how beautiful that is. Wow. No matter how many times you see these cats, they always just enchant me when I see them, especially when they move. They're just so beautiful when they move. Yeah, this could go into a hunt any second. You see they're circling around. Now to keep up with him could be tricky to say the least, especially since we don't want to interfere with either him or the impala beyond just being here. I've lost visual of them as well now. That's obviously why he's moving. They've moved a bit. There's more impalas this way now. Okay, we know where they are. Okay, so they've moved quite a bit. They've moved about 40 or 50 yards from where they were a few minutes back. Let me just try and see if we can keep an eye on him. Should be. Oh, there we go. Oh, right in front of us, just there. The wind is still perfect. In fact, it's picked up a little bit, so the wind is just getting better for him. Look at that posture. You can really see that this guy is on the hunt. Oh, beautiful. just hear that sort of gurgling sound there from you can feel the sort of calm tension, if you want, the subdued excitement. He's on the edge as well. If you feel carefully, you'll feel that there's a bit more adrenaline in your system at the moment as well. You'll feel your heart maybe just beating slightly faster in anticipation of this. And it's the same for them. They have to learn to get more patient with it. Oh, there's a beautiful facial view. Can reconfirm the ID, but this does look like you to me. Djuma's got more sort of slanted almond shaped eyes.
Peter.
Idea in this guy. Oh, he's just flat, low down. The impalas are not that far. They're about 40 yards. You'd have to get halfway closer still. I'm going to go behind him because then we, in the line of sight, sort of, as the impala look at us, they might notice him. Just look at that. We're going to go around the side. Ooh, guys. We are hunting with a leopard. Keep in mind the bit of sound we make won't influence either of the two species as long as we're not in line with either of their sort of viewing direction, if that makes sense. Both impalas and the leopard are very used to vehicles, so this doesn't bother them. There he is. Oh, getting closer and closer. Andrew, is it exciting for you?
Yeah.
First leopard hunt you're filming or not?
Beg your pardon?
Your first leopard hunt?
Pretty much.
Awesome. Oh, these impalas are close now. He's not yet, but he's getting very close to striking range. They know of nothing. They're busy grazing. There's a bit of play between them. Yep. We're pretty much just getting more into the thick of it. Ourselves, we're getting closer to the impala, and I've now noticed that what we saw in the beginning was sort of the periphery of the group. It looks like at least 10 or 15 individuals, all males, a bachelor group, a bit of rutting competing between them going on, so they distracted slightly, busy grazing and feeding as well. And this leopard has just kept up to them, and he was keeping up earlier. Now he's actually gained some ground, partly because the herd of impala have spread out a little bit again. So difficult to show all of them because we are in thick bush, but this is perfect hunting habitat for leopard. So if I had to give odds here, I would say we're in as good a position as you could ever be to experience a live or successful hunt. I mean, we are in a live hunt. I'm going to go back to him again. You'll see when he moves, just notice how beautifully he moves. I always mention that, but it catches me every time. It sometimes literally gets my breath a little bit if I watch them. They are just so magical when they... What's going on here? Just look at that tail. I'm going to just go around a little bit. He's consistently looking in the same direction now, so I'm sure that those impala once again must have moved around. So let's try and get ourselves back into the sort of the triangle shape. Like I said, that's especially with leopard, it's best if you can get yourself, so if you have a leopard, the impala and us, sort of a triangle like that, then you can get the view from the side. With lions sometimes, you know, you end up behind them because the pride of lions moving through the bush, all you can do is keeping up. Wild dogs even more so. Leopard is a very sort of subtle, secretive hunt. You have to adjust your behavior from our side to that as well. Amazing though, huh? Who would have guessed? Just talking about all the hunting at the moment, all the different predators in the area, all the apex predators, wild dogs, hyenas, lion, leopard. So much almost interaction between them sometimes because they're all going for similar prey. Just yesterday we talked about it, where we're sitting. Perfect example again. Exciting example. Oh, there's the impalas. They've moved a bit. Try and get us into a reasonable position. There's a few impalas coming through, so difficult to see them. So I'm trying to get a view here that we can keep an eye on them, on the leopard as well as the impala, but the habitat not making that too easy. Just gonna have to go around, I think. Let's try and get ourselves on that side. That might be helpful. Afternoon, Aubrey again. Impalas on this side now, to the sort of Yan for Voila, Shibam, Weaver's Nest for Ingwe, Djumaring, Malaya. Just come up Philemon's Catline past Shibam Junction. Sorry, not Weaver's Nest, Shibam, Philemon's Catline Junction. We'll come up Philemon's Catline. Try and go around them. We don't want to bother them yet, so I'm going to try and just go around so that we can get on that side of them. Sorry guys. Quietly come past. Here's all the impala, quite a like about 15, 20 of them now that I'm seeing the whole herd. You can see them off to our left here. They're quite spread out now. They're in almost a half moon shape from that termite mound where we last saw him. Now I do want to try and get myself closer to the leopard as well, just so we can keep an eye on them. Oh, there's a warthog here as well. I thought it was going to be a la carte for the leopard this afternoon, but it does seem he's got a menu to pick from. There's a little warthog, not a little one, a big warthog. Let's see, I have to try and get myself to a place that I can... Just, even if you just get a tiniest little glimpse of the leopard, just to get an idea of where he is. I think we're almost where we can stop it. Just have to get my idea of where he's sitting. Guys, I just want to see if the leopard is still here. I mean, he might have moved now. That's the tricky thing with being here alone. Trying to keep an eye on what's going on. He should be just here unless he's moved, which obviously is possible. Uh-oh. As the leopard has moved. So much going on here, and we tried to get around just to get you a better view that we could get an overview of what's going on. The leopard could be anywhere at the moment. We're going to try and find him. Obviously staying close to the prey would also help. But he's definitely moved from where we left him a few minutes ago. Are running in the front there. I wonder if he circled around that way. Not running as in they've seen him, just running as in if they've seen something. Oh, there we go, there we go. Let's just sit right here. Perfect. We're in a triangle now from them. Which is a second. You might have noticed this thick cover that he's had is not so much in his favor anymore, because they're now on that area of the road and beyond it, so he's going to have to cross that. The wind is still good. It's not directly from them anymore, but it is coming, I would say, at about sort of an 80-degree angle from them, 90-degree angle from them, so it's still good. So it's more from them towards him than it is side on. Just to get an idea of what some of you are thinking at the moment. Do you think he's going to be successful? Do you think patience? Do you think we've been patient? It's been 45 minutes. Keep in mind, a leopard can easily take half a day. You can take 5 hours, 6 hours to get into the hunt. And you can send questions or even just comments or thoughts through to us. Hashtag Safari Live if you want to tweet it, or questions at WildEarth for email. It's going to get us back on the road at the moment. Might be not a bad place for us. Easy to move around. Good afternoon, John. How's it going? John is saying hello from Connecticut. Guys, we're going to get a beautiful view. The impalas have moved on to the point that I don't even see them now. So it means the leopard we might actually wait for them to move away far enough that he can cross this open area. But look at that stunning view. John, I'm going to answer you. Just look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, he's going to move on. John, you were just asking if Mvula found them in his area or his to be forward with this side. I can see. John, you were just asking if Mvula found them in his area or he's through the Slatin. He's going to cross Ndlela heading west. But very much aware. Off into the thick stuff. But very much aware. But keep in mind, if they move off to another area, there might just be another male leopard's territory again. So they would always be moving around through other males' areas. They just have to avoid them. There's the other game drive from Djuma that's joined us as well. I think they spotted something. Often I've seen leopards sometimes where it looks like they're going to strike any second, and the next thing they get up and they walk away. So never really know, but that sort of on the edge of your seat seems to have disappeared for now. It seems like he's just giving it a bit of opportunity to see what happens. How's it going? But let's see. Anything can happen. That certainly has been proved.
Gone low again.
Okay.
He's gone low again. There he is.
Oh, the impalas are just here. There's the impalas. You see how easily this happens? We didn't even see them. Probably the malas. There's just there to the right, huh? There he is in front of us. Impalas are further to the right now. I'm not sure, you might also have either just decided against it or maybe decided to, who knows. Catch up a little bit with him. He's just walking now, so maybe he's either seen some further away or that warthog perhaps, or maybe he's just decided to see he can't find another opportunity. But we have to keep up with him. You can use a leopard quite easily in this kind of bush. Amazing though, what afternoon so far. Wow. Also going to be easier keeping up if he does just decide to move again now. The fact that we are two vehicles does help a lot. Vooraan voor. asking if they've got a visual. I don't see him at the moment at all. I think the tracker on that vehicle there is William. That's the tracker. Open again, one Ingwe. See, both lost him. I thought they've got him, but they're also looking. As we must not be too far from him now. In the blink of an eye. I thought they had him and they thought we had him. Must be somewhere here. Orbs again. Luto for. Was it the last he saw me? He was from by me straight away. He was going more downhill. Bit of a hole there. My feeling is that it should be here somewhere, but it's just, we just had a tiny little window there. And he gave us the slip. Not giving us the slip, he's not really concerned about us at all. That's a log. Guys, if you've bad. Alright, let me try that again. If you've missed the last few moments, or the last few minutes, we were following the leopard. He sort of seemed to have not given up, but sort of not too worried about the hunt anymore, and he started walking. And Aubrey and myself were following him, 2 vehicles, and you know that old saying, you know, 2 vehicles is better than 1, or 2 eyes, I guess, same thing. And I think Aubrey thought we had him, and we thought he had him, and the leopard maybe thought he had something else, and he must have just trotted off after something. This specific leopard, Q, does not care about vehicles at all, so it wasn't because we were following him. Just like that, and he's gone. I think we'll find him again, but at the moment, I have to just look around a little bit. Hopefully we can spot him again. Aubrey's also helping. At the same time, I think Hayden would love to say hello to you properly. It was so quick earlier and we had to come back to the leopard. Not had to, we wanted to. And I know Hayden is also waiting to know what's going on. So enjoy it that side, and we'll see you back here in a bit.
Well, what a fantastic start to the afternoon, hey? Pete with Q. That's so cool. I'm so happy that he's seen him and he's picked him up. And it just goes to show you, folks, all the books tell you about what leopard's most active time is of the day, the cooler times of the day. You know, they're crepuscular, which is a word that means more active during dawn and dusk, and you know, there's also active throughout the night. But I have to tell you, there's always exceptions to the rule. Now, I'm just going to pull in here to this little spot. It's a nice little spot. There's a lovely buffalo just here in the shot, but it's a bit, I'm going to be probably, is it too much in the sun for you, Brian?
No, it should be good.
Just pulled up here just because we've been driving around having a bit of a look. We did come across some elephants, but they moved across onto another property. But back to probably our beginning, where we wanted to introduce ourselves and say hi to you. It was a bit rushed because sometimes we have to do those crash cuts over to Pete or over to the other person because it's really exciting stuff. You don't want to miss out on it, and that's the beauty of having two vehicles. So welcome again to Safari Live. I'm Hayden. We've got Brian with me today, which is fantastic, and we're down at Twin Dams. Remember, if you've got any questions, please send them to questions@WildEarthTV, or you can tweet us at hashtag Safari Live. Right, so we've just been driving around. This is a very, very... You'll see buffalo and some birds around the water points, but most of, and I repeat, most of the big predators are resting. Certainly not Q. He looks like he's had a bit of a good time looking around for some impala. But impala herds haven't been as frequent. There's a real high concentration of predators around at the moment. We're seeing nearly at least a cat a day, which is fantastic. But I'm just so impressed that we had him for that whole hour. Really beautiful stuff. And we're just down here looking at these couple of old bulls. There's one just behind a bush over here, but the one right in front of us, just keeping himself cool, ruminating. We've seen this a couple of days, pretty much every day. I just passed via Dam, and there's about 15 of them doing exactly the same thing. They stay in that water, not fully submerged, but just sort of the first sort of third of their body keeping cool. It gives them a really good opportunity to get up and run if they need to. The mud's a little bit more solid at that edge of the pond, as the dam as well, and it just allows them to keep their senses right on the money, just in case a big predator did come down. He is just really enjoying that at the moment. Buffalo are an incredibly interesting group of animal species, and it's a bit hard to talk about the interaction between a herd if you're not looking at them, but when there is a big herd around, it's just spectacular to watch the social interaction. They're very, very social animals. There's not a lot of aggression. They're non-territorial, so they don't sort of fight each other for territory. They do fight each other for females, the bulls, but they don't fight for territories. So look at all those flies. Did you see those fly off there? Goodness me, yeah, I just heard Brian go, Brian is not a lover of flies, nor of any of us really, and they are a bit tricky today. But I really love buffalo, and I find them very interesting. When you see a buffalo herd come down to drink, you will, it's quite a spectacular social gathering. And the one lovely thing, one of my special things about buffalo is that there's a dedicated pathfinder. And what that means is that there's one animal, normally in a herd or a group of clans that have joined together, that will be the dedicated one that animal actually dictates the moves. A little bit like a matriarch elephant, I suppose, but they will all follow that animal. They'll follow that pathfinder, and that's the name that's used to describe a buffalo that leads to water or leads to pasture. So I find that really nice. They're a very beautifully designed animal. They've got massive cheek teeth and broad incisors. They can grasp loads of grass in each mouthful with a prehensile tongue, not as long as the giraffe, but still prehensile. Just really chilling out there. So if you do have any questions, please send them through. We'll be really happy to answer them. As always, we get loads and loads of questions. We can't answer all of them, but we can answer as many as we possibly can. And it's great to talk to you. This is what it's all about, the interaction between you and us, and that's what Wild Safari Lives is all about. There's a bit of an oxpecker that's just landed on his back there, I think. Just want to see which one it is. We've got two species here. The yellow-billed, which are much more rare than the red-billed. That's a red-billed. I don't know how close you can get in there, Brian, but you might be able to see just that little bird right on the nape of his neck there, just working his way through and picking off parasites. Wide claws that hang onto the animal's skin and hair. And he's right on the animal's nose now. You can see him there. Fantastic. That's a red-billed oxpecker. Right inside the ear there. Goes and removes those parasites. So there's a bit of a relationship that those birds have with most animals. They've got a little yellow ring around their eye, beautiful red beak, a little buff undertone. I'll show you a picture of them just now, because he's a bit far away. So if I get Brian just to zoom back a little bit, I'm not sure if this is going to be, it might be a little bit backlit, but you might get this, mate. So that is the red-billed oxpecker. That's the one that's on his back. And I know many people have seen that before, and it is a common bird to see congregating on big ungulates, big hoofed animals. But a great bird to know, because they do have that relationship with a lot of animals where they let off this call. So that high-pitched call. And that call, as many of you will know, or for people that are just getting into safaris, will know that there's a relationship that many animals have, and even all the guides and the people that do watch wildlife have, and that is that when you do hear that sound, it's an alarm call for a predator or danger. So you'll normally hear that sound, and we will sort of alarm ourselves and think, okay, there's something going on over that, and use that part of this bush newspaper, this sort of script that the bush writes for us, and keeping all your senses open, all your different senses, your sense of smell, your sense of sight. I don't think you use your sense of taste that often, but lots of your senses. So we might move on. Lovely little bird. I know you've got a big list already here. I think when I started this list back in November, we had about 27 birds on or something. I think it's about up to 135 now, which is fantastic. So please excuse me if I do go over birds that you've already seen a million times. It's always great to see them and learn a little bit more about them, or maybe you could teach me a thing or two about them. Maybe we'll have a little bit of a bird quiz as well, and I'll just stop at birds and see what bird, see who the... See, we might do that today, Brian.
Gee, there's a lot of birds that I don't know.
Yeah, it's birding is one of those things that's a really great pastime to get into. There's a lovely elephant herd just here we're going to come up to. But birding is a great thing that you can just always have in the back of your mind. You've got a little book, or you've got an app on your smartphone or your tablet, and it allows you to look at, still be looking at animals even when there's not a lot of mammals around, because there's birds everywhere. This is quite a popular little spot here for these ellies. They were here yesterday as well. Look at that little one. We've got a lot of elephant coming down here now. There's no need for me to go any closer to these guys. It's just going to disturb them. Sorry, I'm just rolling here. Want me to move back a bit, or you're okay, mate?
No, this is good.
Okay. So I've just left the buffalo and come over to this little water point because I heard these elephants just over beyond the dam wall. The buffalo's still back there. These elephants I don't think are going to drink there. They use this area right here as a mud bath, and they love to splash around in it. Beautiful herd. There's a lot of them, and I'm always keen to just watch elephants behave normally. If you've really got a lovely herd that, oh, look at that one just lying down, how beautiful in the mud. And I really think it's important, just you can see them perfectly, we've got good vision, and if they start to move around us, then that's a very, very different story. But it's nice just to watch them and let them behave naturally. I love what they do. They push their trunk down or push their tusks into the mud and put their head in the mud, and it's got to be fun. It's got to be enjoyable. These little ones just roll down in it as well. For the future. Now, even though we're watching elephants at the moment, I probably left the buffalo a little bit too quickly to get your question, Kira. But the buffalo question that you have is a really, really good one. What is the buffalo chewing? Is the buffalo chewing his cud, and what is cud? Well, that's such a cool question. Cud, and what that is a little bit, sounds a bit yucky, but they're regurgitating their food, and they regurgitate up a little bit out of their stomach, and what they do is they chew it over again, and that's really efficient. That means they get a lot of goodness out of it, and they get the most out of it. So it's a little bit like eating your food and getting all the nutrition out of it you possibly can. Now they do this, and after they've done it that time, it bypasses that little part of that chamber in their stomach and goes into the next one, and the process goes through. But they've got a 4-chambered stomach, Kira. Do you believe that? It's much different to ours, and they can break down in that stomach a particular substance that's in plants called cellulose. Now, it's a big word, but you'll come across that when you carry on through your schooling, and cellulose is a difficult thing to break down, but those animals, cows and buffalo, they do it really, really easily, and that's exactly what it was doing. It's cud, and cud is regurgitated food that's already eaten. So thank you very much, Kira. That's a cracking question, matey, and I hope you're having a great time in Missouri. Look at that, isn't that fantastic? They're having so much fun. Having so much fun.
That tiny little one is right in the middle.
You can see those females standing guard and making sure the little one doesn't get hurt by the big one, and just keeping a watch over there. 2 of the bigger youngsters were rolling around with that little guy, so it's really nice. You see the mother of that little one was just standing close by, and now she's moved off. So many similarities between us and them, folks, and that's why I think we're so connected with elephants. So a herd of elephants will probably average about 7 to 11 animals, and if you see more than that, it's probably a few different herds that have met together. They have these things called bond groups as well. Sorry, let me repeat that. Bond groups, where they'll regularly meet together, and if the herd does get bigger than that, they normally split up and sort of stay in contact with each other, feed in different areas, and then come back and meet up with each other. So those bond groups they normally average about 30 animals or something like that, and it's normally roughly three family groups together. I've got a question from Rhonda about how much water can an elephant put in its trunk. It's a question, Rhonda, that I've always had mixed sort of answers from people when I've asked them. We even tried to measure it one day at a zoo that I worked at and tried to get one of our bull elephants to suck it up and see how much he took out, but he took out a different amount every time, so it was a bit tricky. But in the wild, look, I'm having a guess that when we did it, it was about 10 litres, which is like a bucket, and he was sucking that up no problem. But in an average day, they'll drink approximately 230 litres a day, which is about now I'm doing litres and gallons. I think that's about sort of 55, 60 gallons, around that sort of amount, and that's what an elephant will consume a day. They really do need to drink on a daily basis, but some animals, particularly ones in Namibia, they will potentially change their behaviour and drink only once every 2 days because water is a lot scarcer. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question, Rhonda, but thanks for watching. So, I think those guys have gone on their merry way. That was quite beautiful to watch, wasn't it?
That was fantastic.
Yeah, really nice. Just how they all came down, they all had a mud bath, and they've gone on their merry way. And we haven't changed their behaviour in one bit. I'm telling you, we've just pulled up here. We've probably been about, I would say, 30 or 40 metres, about 120 feet away from them. And not even the slightest difference in their behaviour. So that's what's fantastic about doing it right. Making sure you just gauge what the herd's doing. If we would have gotten too close there might have been a little bit of a change in behaviour, but that was their time. That was cool. Excellent. Right, let's go and see what's around the next corner, folks. I know they're really common, but they're a beautiful bird and they don't often stay still for this long. I'm just trying to figure out what he's got in his mouth there. Let me just have a look through the binoculars, folks.
It looks like a click beetle.
Is it? He's so close to me now, my binoculars won't even, I can't see him. I just can't make out what it is. Yes, it is. It's a big click beetle, and it's so big he can hardly get it in his mouth. He doesn't know how to swallow it. He's trying to break it, I think. Every time he picks it up, it clicks, I think, and that's why he's dropping it. I'm not sure if it is alive, but the click beetles, their defense mechanism is to pull all their legs in like that and just play dead. So, but it's a nice little morsel for him. The reason why I wanted to stop is because it is clicking every time he picks it up. He's having a bit of trouble doing this. Did you see that? So it just clicked right out of his beak. He's like saying to himself, what is going on with this thing? It's dead, but... Oh, here we go. Are we going to do it this time? Every time he goes to swallow it, it clicks. Just did it again. That's fantastic. We're with a little southern yellow-billed hornbill here at the moment, and it's just great to see. He's got a click beetle, which is quite a large click beetle, and every time he gets it in his mouth, a click beetle's defense mechanism is to click it's got a little sort of defensive click that it makes, and it hinges just behind its head, and every time he puts it in his mouth it clicks and bounces out of his mouth, so he can't quite get it together. He's going to have it though, I think. He can't figure out which way to put it into his mouth to swallow it. There's a very, very hard, tough exoskeleton on the beetle, and he's doing his utmost. It's just a little bit too hard for him to break. But one of the reasons why I wanted to stop on this is because you don't often see them in this beautiful light and sit for so long. I'm just going to play you the sound of this bird. I tell you what, actually, I might hold off on that because I don't want him to think that there's another hornbill around. If I do play it, he might get a little bit, he might fly off with it. So I don't want to disturb him. But when he's done, I'll play you the call. You do hear it early in the morning. It's a beautiful sound, another quintessential African sound. But he's having a fine time here. And if it's all right with you, everyone, if you want to tweet in at the moment, what a perfect time to ask for a tweet. If you're okay with me with staying here, folks, let me know. Send us a couple of tweets and let me know if it's all right to sit here, because I think this is fascinating to watch this bird. I hope he doesn't give up. And he's not flying off with it, so he's quite comfortable with us where we are. Lots of different hornbills in Africa. And you may have seen another one, the ground hornbill, which is a massive bird compared to this cousin. A big black bird with a magnificent red wattle and red beak, and predominantly ground dwelling, but can fly good distances when it needs to, but spends most of its time on the ground. So it just goes to show you that beak, that perfect designed beak, is like he can manage that. He's trying to crack it. He's trying to. Every time he squeezes it, I can hear it crunching a little bit, and I suppose it's like just getting that corn chip that doesn't fit, Brian, in your mouth. He really wants to break it in half, or try and break it up at the moment to get it in. The question on everyone's lips, Mr. Hornbill, are you going to have success?
Looks like he really wants it.
He really wants it, doesn't he? He's not giving up. Another crunch. These guys are common residents, you see them everywhere. But it's one of those things, as I said before, if you start to give wildlife and plants a cursory glance, you know, you just miss out on so much. These little guys have a really important role in the ecosystem. They'll also forage through lots of animals' dung and get lots of insects out of that, so they break things up, they fit into the ecosystem and the habitat perfectly. Oh yes, we've had success.
There it goes.
We've had success. Well done. He's just broken off part of the... I think he just broke the head off, and now I think he's going to eat the rest. I won't go on with the gory details, but I think that was the, you know, a little bit like chocolates with a soft centre. I think he had just had the soft centre first, but anyway. Yeah, he's enjoying that, that's for sure. Beautiful backlight on them. He looks like he's about to fly. No. Come on, mate, get it. We need to pass you, my friend. Just whilst he is there, I don't think he's going to drop it. I'm going to just play this this call for you, and you can hear it. And this is what you hear. It's a real sort of, it's a tock 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 tock. It goes. It makes a real. It starts off slowly, and then it goes a bit faster. So you hear that sound quite often in the morning as you're driving around. You'll hear that sound, and you really do see them enjoying their food. So I'm just going to sit here and watch him till he finishes this, because I don't really want to disturb him. It's part of the ethics and morals of watching wildlife that you don't change their behaviour. You just watch what happens, even if it's a bird or an insect, you know, you try and make a plan. To the point where I'm actually going to make a decision. Oh, we do want to see him finish this, don't we?
I'm very keen to see him.
I am as well. I'm not sure if you've tweeted in, folks, or given me any indication whether we're going to stick with him. But this has been quite a long time watching this hornbill. But come on, mate, you can do this. Folks, I've got a question from Manjay, and thank you very, very much for being with us. It's great to have you, and thanks for all your tweets, everyone, and messages to say stick with him, because it is a bit of fun, and you do have to stop and see these small things as well. It's not just all about the big cats and the elephants and everything. So Manjay, your question is he cracking that that shell with his beak, and doing that before he eats it. And what type of beetle is it? Well, that's exactly what he's doing. It's a little bit big for him to get in down his throat, so he's trying to crack it. He's working it and just cracking that shell, and he'll eventually work his way around to it. And he's just flicking bits off it as well. I think it pretty much is dead now, because we did see him get some good bits out of it, but he's trying to swallow it. He's just trying to break it up. I'm just going to try and find a picture of the beetle for you, so if you can just stand by for me, folks. Just bear with me. We'll keep asking questions while we're waiting. So I've got a question from Diane in New York, and Diane's asking, how can the beetle still click if it's dead? Well, it wasn't dead when it first started, Diane. He was alive, and then what the animal has done has removed part of the exoskeleton on the bottom of the beetle, and he has then started to devour the beetle from the inside first. So a little bit like I was explaining before, with the chocolate with the soft centre, so to speak. And he's eaten the inside of the beetle out, and it's just the carapace now, or the exoskeleton, sorry, that he's going for. But it's just that little bit too big for his body. So I'm just going to try and find a picture of this beetle for you, and Brian can probably just zoom out a little bit for you. It's a click beetle, and it's a long, elongated body here. That's good, Brian. I'll move it over for you and probably keep that in shot, mate, if you want, in the back, and we can watch him. There we go. I'll have to keep it up a bit higher for you. So there you go. It's a click beetle. So that's what it looks like. It's a long, elongated body with black and brown on it. And there's sort of the edge of the thorax has two sort of pointed angles on it. So it says, I'm just reading this out for you, it's a nocturnal plant eater, and it's got a mechanism under the body that is used to right the insect on its back, and it creates a powerful click. Now, it also uses it in a defense mechanism. So that's it. So that's a picture of our click beetle, the beetle that our friend over there, Mr. Hornbill, is eating. And that click beetle, the little sort of hinged axis underneath him, it's a really powerful click. I mean, children, when you show children, they really do love it. And it's something that he uses to right himself, but he'll use it if a predator picks him up and tosses him, and he uses that click and he falls on his back, he'll use it to get himself on his right side. Come on, my friend, you have to eat this beetle. There's loads more out there in the bush for us to see. So I just got a question from Terry on Twitter. Welcome, Terry. Fantastic to have you aboard. And asking whether red-billed hornbills have the same call as yellow-billed hornbills. Well, it's slightly different, but not too much different. I'm just trying to find it for you. So if you just bear with me for a second, I'll definitely try and get that call up for you. But whilst we're just waiting for me to find that, this is a beautiful, beautiful sighting of this bird, and it's been a bit more fun than like some incredibly rare bird species. We've just fallen into him right now. and he was just in such a great spot. I didn't want to leave him, and the light's so beautiful on him as well. Unfortunately, I don't have that call on this app. I do apologise, and I don't have it with me at the moment. But it's slightly different, but not too much different. And if I can get that call for you, I'll try and replay it another time. But there's lots of different hornbills around, and we see a few different ones. We do see the African grey as well, and up in the sort of tropical sort of parts of Africa, you see trumpeter hornbills and black and white casqued hornbills, which are massive birds. And the hornbills are really spectacular species. They really are. But these little guys are such characters. They really just love them. Brian, has this been the longest hornbill sequence you've ever done?
The longest. This
goes down, folks, as the longest hornbill sequence in Wild Earth history. And I'm sure Wild Safari Live is going to put this one out as he's trying to dig in now. Put it out as one of the hottest yellow-billed hornbill sequences known to humankind.
Definitely most entertaining.
Tom in Seattle and Terry in New York, you're both asking if there'd be nutrition in the beetle's exoskeleton, and there definitely would be, that's for sure. There'd be all different forms of nutrition in that for him, and I don't think he'd be putting as much work into it if it wasn't. And it's also probably a lot of roughage for him as a bird. But I think there's also some tasty morsels still left inside that he can't get out, so he's trying to break the legs off now. Oh, this is the funniest thing. What is it? Pete was with leopard for an hour this morning. We're going to be with a hornbill for an hour this afternoon, sorry.
That's fair.
That's the great thing. It's all just as important as each other. I'm just thinking about, around the campfire tonight when we're sitting there and you swap the stories and you go, hey, so how was your day? I had a fantastic, incredible encounter with Q. He hunted and he was going through and, he was stalking and fantastic. What was your highlight of the day? Well, he was a lot smaller than Q, but still interesting, still similar coloration. And he was a southern yellow-billed hornbill that we just want to finish this beetle. Come on, big boy, you can do it. If not, he's going to go into the hornbill juggling team for being able to juggle that around. Is he going to fly off, or is he going to give up? You know what, I think this is a perfect time, folks, for us to go and see if Peter Pretorius can save me here. And Pete can, we're going to probably cross to Pete and he's going to have a pride of lions, and HT and Brian have got a hornbill, yay! I love this bird though, he's fantastic, he's really cool. Anyway, this is a good time to cross to Pete, and I'm sure Pete's got something fantastic to show us, so we'll come back to you just now.
Well guys, welcome back on the Jigger here with Andrew and myself, Peter. We have actually circled around to quarantine now. While you were on drive with Hayden enjoying those buffalo. Sorry guys, just one of the game drives there. I thought they might have found that leopard. So while you were with Hayden enjoying the buffalo and the ellies, that hornbills are great. I mean, obviously Lion King sort of